I'm your mother, I'm your brother, I'm your sister, I'm your friend, I'm your father when you need one. I'll be here till the end. Hello, family, and welcome to the house at Vanderbilt, where you will sit back and don't spat, but have a meaningful conversation with all life forms. You can be black, brown, white, Protestant, Gentile, or Jew. Righty, lefty, MAGA, BLM, Antifa, and gay too. Because all are welcome here in this house. So sit back and relax and get on in here and cop a squat because the conversation is about to start.
Dun, 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 All right. Welcome. We're gonna let y'all get in here. I came on a little bit early, y'all, just to kind of feel myself out. I think I'm gonna get rid of this jacket. We don't need all of this on. Put that across this couch here. We're gonna talk today. Oh my goodness. Yes. It's Sunday, y'all. It's the first Sunday of the year. The first Sunday of the year. Yes. I got to do something. You got 2 minutes before we start, so let me do this. I'll be right back. All right. I have to make a quick change, y'all. Quick change. Alrighty. We are 1 minute from conversation time. Alrighty. Well. The first Sunday of the month. Yes. I mean, of the year. The first Sunday of the year. Now, I know a lot of people are going to continue to go to my regular personal page, but eventually they'll catch on. So we're going to stay here, we're going to be here, and we're going to run smooth through this conversation and just feel each other. Just feel each other, grow with each other, because right now I'm in growing mode, and it is currently 3 p.m., and welcome again, y'all, to the third episode of the House That Vanderbilt. And man, it's a continuous blessing as I move into this space and as I continue to learn more about how to maneuver in this space and getting direction, getting tips from a lot of different people who are truly here to support me and here to help me grow. I want to start by saying, give y'all a little bit of appetizer because, this is the Sunday dinner table. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to run this just like the dinner table. You know what I'm saying? So just for a little appetizer, let's not forget my sponsors, first of all. Let's not forget Dubby.com, Dubby.com. They are a fantastic energy drink. And I've got some products on the way that I'll be showcasing and things, in the house. So we'll be able to see them. But you can go check it out, Dubby.com. And I've put a little subscription down there that you can go ahead and click and get you 30% off, if you're going to order. So go ahead and check out Dubby.com. And let's not forget Chuck's Candles. I know everybody loves the apple and strawberry and the cherry, different smells out their house, especially during the holiday season. Who doesn't like a good fruit basket? You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and check out chuckscandles.com. He shits all over the world. He makes Wonderful candles. He's based right out of Tennessee. And I would advise y'all, let's get those good smells and let's support our people. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue to support our people and love on our people. Because when they grow, we grow. And that's how life is. And that's what we are trying to do. We want to grow as they grow. And they want to grow as we grow. So let's just keep on growing together. You know what I'm saying? And a little bit more of an appetizer. Last week, we found out that it was on the WTF Are We Doing wall. It was my friend and my buddy, Mr. Chris Brown. This week, we've got somebody new under the cloth, under the WTF Are We Doing wall. So here's the catch. If you can tell me who's under that cloth and why I put them up there, I'll send you a $25 cash app. That's all you got to do is put your cash app down there in the comment section, and I'll make sure you get that as soon as the show is over with. All right? So there's our appetizers, y'all. We done did a little bit. Now I'm going to do a little recap before we get into the main course of this thing, okay? Last week, we were on the discussion of the Supreme Court and you. And it was rather long because this is a two-part series on this because the Supreme Court and us has got a long history, as we already know. You know what I'm saying? We talked about the laws of 1883 that X'd out the laws of 1875. They told us that, we can't discriminate against you in public in 1875, but then in 1883, they came right back and they did what? They took it back. What I called last week, backsies. They keep taking things back from us. And they're not just doing this to one group. Just like, I remind y'all again, just like they did it to the black group in the 1800s, now they're trying to do it to a different group. It's always a test dummy type thing to go ahead and hit the big target that you're truly looking to hit. And that's the thing we're trying to fight that right now. At least I want to fight it. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about that law. Then we ran down the famous Jim Crow roll-in. Jim Crow roll-in, Plessy versus Ferguson, you know what I'm saying, in 1896, that ushered in Jim Crow on us. And we know how that went for us. We know how that went for us. It did no good for us. You know what I'm saying? They had us under the protection of the federal government. Then they decreased that and told us everything we had to do had to be done statewide, which y'all keep hearing that right now today. I told y'all last week. We hearing that. Oh, send it back to the states. Send it back to the states. Send it back to the states. Why do they want to send it back to the states? Well, during the Jim Crow era, we know why they wanted to send it back to the states. Because the states really didn't care nothing about us. They didn't care nothing about us, man. So what did they do? They sent it back to the states because they could treat us differently. They could treat us the way they wanted to treat us, which was less than a human being. Let's just call it what it was. So that was the Plessy versus Ferguson case that literally drove us to death. Darn near death. We remember what happened in Mississippi. We remember what happened in Salem. We remember what happened in Tulsa. This is not just some made up thing. You know what I'm saying? Then we talked about the Beret College versus Kentucky. And we remember, Beret College was a state-funded charter college. I was hitting y'all with what are we thinking? What are we thinking? What are we thinking when we think that state-funded schools should not allow our people in, should not allow our children in? I asked y'all loud and clear last week, what do you think about when they just add a different label to it? Charter, public, Catholic, religious, private, all these different labels. They're just labels. At the end of the day, everybody gets a little funding from every state they in. And then there are those special schools where there is no funding. And for those schools, I say, do as you will, do as you want. We have no right. But for schools that are getting funding, you got to remember, when they say state funded, you might as well just X out the word state and put my tax funds. That's what you need to do. X out the word state and put my tax funding, because that's what's funding it, your tax money. And if your tax money is funding something, don't you think you have a right to it? Don't you think you have a right to be included in that group? It's your tax money. This is your dollars. How can they spend your money and tell you have no right to any part of it? These are the things that they keep They keep bringing back on around the corner, y'all. They'll throw it to us in one century, take it back and bring it back around the next century and throw it at us again. But this time, they're going to throw it at a different group, hoping that they can really hit them and hit on target, only to come back to you. Because that, at the end of the day, we still are looked at as the little people on the totem pole. We still are looked at as the last one in line. We still are looked at as the one who needs the least amount of attention. And that look, that thought, that theory needs to totally stop completely, because we're not last. We're not at the bottom. We're not the least. Quite frankly, we're the best. We're first. And we are at the top of our game. And that is where the problem really lies, y'all. We at the top of our game in a game they've been playing for years, and we were literally just little pieces on the board. But now we're starting to understand that we're a little bit more worth more than that. We understand more than that. We're capable of more than that. And now that we're noticing that, and we're feeling that, and we're seeing that, it's time for us to start working that. And not working it against each other, but working it so that we as a group can move forward. We can accomplish some things. And the Beret College versus Kentucky showed us that they really wanted to keep us out. They want to keep us out. When you tell a school that they can either A, stop integrating completely, do not accept both classes, you can only accept one. And if you want to keep the integration that you have currently, you can do so, but moving forward, you can't accept both classes anymore. What is that saying? It's literally saying, get rid of one, keep one. And we know the one they wanted to get rid of. And we're not settling for that anymore. And then we move right into the Corrigan versus Buckley Act, in 1926. And we already know that we were still facing these problems today, because that was the ruling that put down that people could sell their houses to who they want to and push away folks, no matter what it didn't have to have a cause. They could be black, they could be gay, they could be anything other than what they wanted them to be. And they could literally tell you, okay, I don't want to sell my house to you. I don't want you living in my neighborhood. I'll raise the taxes. I'll raise the price of the home. I'll do anything to not get you to live here. And here's the problem. We're still facing these issues right now today. Why are we facing them? Because we have that broker that sits in the office and does the swindle, dindle, hoodle, hodle, puts those numbers on the back end and all that to make it so. We have those peoples in position, and instead of them helping, they are harming. And this is where we as a people need to understand each other a little bit more and care a lot more. We have to see that it is not in our best interest to continue to keep our people down. It is not in our best interest to continue to parade them, like, oh, they are so great and they're doing all the right things. But when you know, because you work the deals, you know the deals, you know the ins and outs, and you know what's being done is wrong. But if you continue to let these things slide and continue to play on the horse like you riding it with them, I'm here to tell you, you're just going to keep knocking down your brothers and sisters. You're going to keep knocking down all of the marginalized people that are out there that's trying to make it and build themselves up and make something of themselves. You are going to be the reason that we get no further. And that is where we got to change. We literally, really got to grab a hold to the fact that it is within our power to actually make change. It's within our power to actually do a lot of things that can shake good old America up. But once again, we can't shake it up and make no change when we all fighting on different sides of the street, the same battle. And that's what they've been doing since the dawn of time, keeping us on different sides of the street, fighting the exact same damn battle. And it ain't getting us nowhere. So now to get into the meats and potatoes of where we are today, let's talk about the Washington versus Davis in 1976. Now, if y'all don't know nothing about this case, man, it literally tells you that because folks didn't talk the right way, they couldn't get the job. Hear what I said? You ain't talking the right way, so you ain't gonna get the daggone job. You hear what I'm saying? Now, we had two brothers trying to get into the the District of Columbia's police force. That's basically what this case is about. And they passed the physical test. They passed the written test. They passed the psychological test. But guess what they failed? They failed a vocabulary test that was created just for them. Just for them. So we're looking at 1976. So we know this is the time when peace was coming into the world a little bit. Everybody was on their humbug and happy space, you know what I'm saying? But this is also a time when Black slang was highly used in the Black community. Highly used. You know what I'm saying? You may have been smart as a whip, but when you spoke like your community. And when we think of police officers, we generally think that they are going to protect the communities in which they come from. At least this is what they thought in 1976. And if you go in today's time, if you look at some of like early in the 1980s and the early 90s, I remember when the police looked like me in my neighborhood. I remember that I could get along with them and talk with them because they understood me. They came from where I came from. You know, so here in this ruling, this is what Davis and his partner were trying to do. They were trying to get on the District of Columbia's force, and they thinking we're going to be protecting our neighborhoods. We're going to be working in our neighborhoods. So in thinking that, they never thought once that the way that they talked would hinder them from gaining the position. So they literally passed every test. They literally went through every obstacle. They literally did everything they needed to do. And then guess what? They got them with a with the literal vocal vocabulary test. They got them where you don't talk like me, so therefore you don't get the job. Is that not crazy? Is that not like, wow, are we serious? I want to bring that to today's time, my people. How do you think our young people are reacting to how things are done these days? How do you think it is that young people, they talk way different now, man? Slang is normal talk. You know what I'm saying? Just like I just said, you know what I'm saying? It's just a normal way of conversation, you know, for some people. Now, I won't lie. During my growing up, I was taught, you know, y'all heard my story in the first episode. I was taught by Mama Leah and them that, hey, you got to up your vocabulary. You got to speak just a little bit better if you want to be accepted in all realms. And I got that. I really did. You know what I'm saying? And here you go. You know what I'm saying? That's like my favorite line, you know. But here's the thing. When I look at today's time and I think about the youth of today, it's a little bit different. They talk different. They're highly educated. These kids can work computers and hand held, you know, mechanisms and things that I could never have worked in my day and time at their age. But these are the things that they're capable of doing. But when it comes to speech, here's where they sometimes fall a little bit short and a little bit, you know, on the, oh, I'm sorry side. But does that mean that they are not worthy of the position? Does that mean that we should not be giving them the job because they don't speak like you want them to speak? You know, and it's just crazy that, you know, we end up in a situation, because that's what's about to happen. That's what they're going to use. You see this ruling. It happened. It already happened. This has happened to us before. But this is going to be the very ruling that they're going to bring back on us and say, guess what? You don't sound right. You're not talking right. This is not going to work for us. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to happen to us. So here's one of those times when we've got to work with our community to help our youth understand that In order to climb that ladder of success and get where you truly want to be, here's a time and a consideration for you to reach out and touch somebody and help them come a little bit further by teaching someone that vocabulary is important, teaching someone that speaking properly is not talking like white people. That's such a passe and horrible expression. And that was something that I got told as a kid growing up that used to kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. And then sometimes wanted to make me divert and go back to talking with a bunch of slang. But then I got an understanding that just was, folks that just hadn't made it there yet. Folks that just hadn't been out in the world like I had been out in the world, and seen some things that they hadn't seen yet. But my thing is, again, reach one, teach one. When you get something, reach back for your people and bring them up with you. We know that vocabulary is important. Hell, they made a Supreme Court ruling on it. So if they kept these two brothers from becoming cops in freaking 76, then what do you think they plan on doing to us in 2026? Y'all see the game playing? Y'all see what's happening? 2026 is less than 3 weeks away now. And we still playing like ain't nothing really happening. It's all good. We gonna be straight. No, bro. They setting us up for the okie doke right now. I done told y'all, I kept going on and on and on during the campaign of Kamala Harris that Project 2025 was a real thing. And now we're actually living it. We're living it. They study giving things and taking things back, giving things and taking things back. We're living it. In 1978, what did they give us? We had affirmative action. Did we not? We had affirmative action. And everybody want to make it seem like affirmative action, and I'm going to use the new letters that everybody else is using these days on the other side, DEI hires. I never seen an affirmative action hire be dumber than the people that were already in a job. Never seen it. Never once seen it. And I was the first of many. I was the first waiter to ever wait on a president in Memphis, Tennessee. And I will never forget that day because everybody in the restaurant said that I got the job because of my dad and my godfather. My godfather was part owner of it, and my dad was his best friend, and they worked on a lot of projects together. And they really considered me being a new waiter in this building out of nowhere, moving to Memphis from Chicago and just popping in and getting a job like that was a DEI hire, as they're calling it today. So when the president of the United States, Mr. Bill Clinton, was about to make his visit to said restaurant, which we will give the name of it, Blue City Cafe. If you're ever on 2nd and Bill Street in Memphis, Tennessee, please do stop in there. It's still my family, and we got mad love for them. But being that I was the only, catch this now, at the time, I was the only black waiter. All right? So when they find out that the president has chosen our restaurant to be the location that he, Jesse Jackson, and the whole cabinet will come and eat at, everybody's like, oh, who's going to wait on the president? So, me, I'm kind of hyped, like, oh, I know I'm in on this deal. You know what I'm saying? And I get told, ain't no little black boys waiting on no presidents in here today. Yeah, I was told that. Literally told that. Now, I've already been considered a DEI/affirmative action hire. Or you can even throw one more word in there, nepotism. You know what I'm saying? I had all three of them on me. I was already considered those, but I was at the top of my game. I had the best sales every single week. Never a customer complained about me. Hell, I saved a life in a restaurant. A man choked on a steak. I gave him a Heimlich maneuver. He spit that steak off literally 6 feet across the room. And everybody cheered and all these things that happened. But when the president comes, ain't no little black boys waiting on no presidents around here. Could you imagine how that crushed me? Could you imagine how that made me feel? When I know I worked my tail off to be the best, just to be seen in this restaurant, not to be looked at as Mr. Fred's son or Bud's godson or any of that mess. You know what I'm saying? But to be looked at as somebody who came to work on time every single day, had the perfect uniform on, waited on people with excellence and joy, and might I add, made the most money in the building. You know what I'm saying? Why not be looked up on like that? Versus being looked upon like I'm some type of affirmative action hire, and now I'm just here just because I knew, or because of this, because of my skin color. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it by the blessings of God, as I am staying away from this project now I have removed myself. I went to the other side of the building. I made myself a whole new section. Get to the other side of the building. I'm waiting on folks and everything, and then I hear my name. Where's Vanderbilt? And lo and behold, it would be my godfather. So I come up and I say, "Hey, bud, what's going on?" And he says, "What the hell are you doing down there? We got a president coming up in here. Get on up here and get yourself together. Don't go next door and get you a brand new shirt and come on back over here." And I said, "Well, such and such told me I wasn't waiting on no presidents. He said, such and such don't own nothing around here. Get yourself on over there, get you a shirt and get back on up in here because you're waiting on the president, not the cabinet. You waiting on the president." So when I think about this case that talks about affirmative action, I think about that moment in my life. And let me let y'all know something. Bud didn't put me in front of the president because I was his godson. Bud didn't put me in front of the president because I was Mr. Fred's son. Bud put me in front of the president because I knew the job. And I was the best person to wait on a president. I knew to hand his water on one side. I knew to wait until the man stopped talking before I asked him anything. I knew to stand to the side until I was back and forth. I knew all proper protocols. And these weren't things they were taught to me. They were just innate things that came with me. And Bud knew this. And so when he thought about who's going to represent his restaurant in front of this president, the first person he thought about was me. And it had nothing to do with the color of my skin, what I was to him, or anything else. And I'm 100% factually truthful about that one scenario. Because at the end of that celebration and everything, Bud didn't come over to me and say, "You did a great job," or this, that, and the other. The man came right up to me and said, "You forgot the man's damn fork at one time, but I see you made it up. Boy, you know what you're doing." See what I'm saying? Whole time critiquing me. Whole time making sure I'm doing everything right. Whole time. And then in this case, while holding affirmative action in principle, this ruling struck down specific quota systems for college admissions, limited one method of addressing past discrimination and racial disparities. Bruh, one method. You know what that one method was? Deal with it yourself. Federal government's not protecting you. When we as a people, we would hope that the federal government would be all our protection. We would hope that the way they raising taxes up on us every day, we would hope that they would be protecting us. This is where I'm wondering, what the hell is really going on? I mean, they took affirmative action completely off the board just a few years ago. And their reason for doing it is saying that it gave more to one class of people than the other. Well, here's the true fact of the matter. That class of people were white women. White women, grant you, they were already probably doing better than the average person, but they benefited more from affirmative action than any other class of people on the face of this planet. Thank you, Gerard, bro. Love you. I wonder, when will we see that? When will we see as a people? And when I say a people, I'm talking about us that they really targeted. Black, brown, and the LGBTQIA plus community. Those are the three groups of people that they targeted. Those are the ones that they think that are less than everybody else. And when we start seeing that as a group of people and fight this fight together, man, we will be a force to be reckoned with. You think they could just take laws away from us and, well, take things away from us and throw laws on us without us saying something? See, that's the problem. We never say nothing. We see it happen to one group, and we say, oh, not happening to me, so I ain't worried about it. See, that's a major problem. It's a huge problem. Because what's not happening to you today, trust you me, it's truly going to happen to you tomorrow. I can't say this enough. Everything they have already tried, they literally just rented it back. Just in a different way, at a different time, on a different class of people. This time, we're better educated, y'all. We are better educated. We know way more than we did back in 1976. We've come a long way, my people. And the only thing that's holding us back is us. It's us. It's literally us. We hold each other back all the time. And we hold each other back over prejudices that we shouldn't even have. We shouldn't even have these prejudices. I tell you, man, I remember as a kid, and I know most of y'all, if you grew up, if you were born in the 70s, in early 80s, there was a point in your life when Boy Scouts of America used to be on your radar. You used to wonder, can I get some badges? I want me some badges on a shirt. I want to say that I did this, that, and the other. I want a stash. I want all this. Yeah, I was one of those too. I definitely joined the Boy Scouts of America and had a great time doing it. Now, come 2000, did y'all know that the Boy Scouts of America versus Vail was actually a case in 2000? Did y'all know that? They actually told the Boy Scouts of America actually won a case that said that, you know, men who liked men or could not be troop leaders. And it shocked me because I remember one of my troop leaders, and I knew everybody knew he was gay. It is what it was. Everybody knew it. But he was the coolest troop leader you ever wanted to know. Mr. John was everything. All the kids loved him. When we went on camping trips, everybody wanted to be in John's troop. Everybody. Nobody wanted to go with anybody who all wanted to hang out with Mr. John. Because it wasn't, Mr. John didn't bring whatever he had going on in his home and his private life to us. What Mr. John brought to us was a bunch of love, a bunch of respect, and a bunch of teaching. He taught us how to tie knots, and he taught us how to save folks with CPR and the Honda maneuver. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I learned that stuff from Mr. John at the Boy Scout troop, and come 20 plus years later, I would be using that in a restaurant that I would be literally having prejudice against me. And that's something to save. And I mean, not to be, rude or nothing, but I saved the white man's life. Wasn't a black brother, wasn't a woman, it was a white man. And I would do it again. Yes, God, I would. But Mr. John was one of those people who implemented that stuff into me. So in 2000, when they make a ruling and they say, well, can't no gay man be a troop leader, I wonder what the Boy Scouts of America really thought. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I'm going to be honest with you. I still know there to be quite a few gay troop leaders. Quite a few. You know what I'm saying? So when they make these laws and put them into action, is it really to really make a law that's going to help? Or are they making laws to just hurt certain kinds of people? And that's what I'm telling y'all. The Supreme Court has been making laws for hundreds of years that have hurt us. And they're doing it again right now today. Every law they make to try to hurt one group of people, they come 50, 60 years later and make another law to try to hurt another group of people. And I'm not saying all laws by the Supreme Court have been hurtful, but let's look at the facts. Look at the facts. A lot of them haven't helped us. Every time they did help us, they found a way to take it back and then make a law that would actually kind of hurt us. So where are we going to fight, y'all? When are we going to fight these things? Because saying that there could be no gay troop leaders, come on, man. Come on. We know that ain't what it is. All you did was just going to make some brothers hide things a little bit more harder. Hide things a little bit more harder. But here's the part. Here's the part right here. Here go the part. You say no more gay troop leaders. But you have priests raping little boys. But you say nothing about that. You ain't got a damn thing to say about that. We hide that. We keep that under wraps. We know that priests have raped boys for years. You have coaches and doctors who have done inhumane things to boys. Talk to Jim Jordan about his doctor on his college field and ask him how many boys came forward and said that he molested them. Was there a law that there could be no more gay people as coaches? I'm just saying. Because last I checked, they weren't gay. If you ask them. But if you raping and molesting little boys, that would make you weird, crazy as hell, an idiot, somebody who needs to be under the jail. This is what we hide. This is what we hold ourselves to. You're making laws about troop leaders, but you got a whole file out here with hundreds of names in it that could really, really get to some nitty gritty. But you say it's a hoax. It don't exist. This ain't true. But didn't the king just strip his own brother of everything over a hoax, falsehoods, and something that's not true? Y'all, you're fighting the wrong fight. Stop fighting against one another. Look at what they're doing to us. Look at how they're trying to hold us back and hold us down. Every time they try something on one group, it's coming to the next. They did this thing with the gay troop leaders. It goes on. Now we're in present time. Now they're talking about no trans and women's sports or no men and women's sports, whatever they say. Last I checked, the hormones of a trans woman, a real trans woman, the hormones of a real trans woman are the same as a woman. Last I checked, I never heard them ever say they were trying to make a whole nother gender. Last I checked, they either were trying to trans into a man or trans into a woman, being still two genders. Last I checked, it wasn't harming nobody. Now you guys who are not educated on certain things, you'll start talking about, I don't want no boys in the bathroom with my little daughter. I understand that. I agree with you. You dead on right. Should no boys be in no bathroom with your daughter? I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, you're right. Be the first one. But I'm starting to tell you, ain't no boys in the bathroom with your daughter. That's not the case. That's not what's happening. When we really, and if and when you're really ready to not just face the facts, but face reality, you'll understand, and then you will commit to the fact that trans people aren't harming you. Gay people aren't harming you. Two men that want to be together ain't got nothing to do with you, and nothing to do with what they're capable of doing outside of their home. Two women that want to be together has nothing to do with you, and nothing to do with anything that they're capable outside of their home. Start letting people live their lives in peace. And when you want to make a fight about something, figure out how you can include the masses in your fight versus it just being certain groups of people. and then trying to 86 a certain group of people because they don't do the same things you do. But in all, they can literally, they can help you fight the fight better than you thought. They're going to bring some energy to the battle that you don't have. They're going to bring some knowledge to the game that you ain't thought about playing. So that's my theory, people. This is the reason that the house that Vanderbilt was created. Because it is time for us to stop separating ourselves based off of what we do in our homes and start seeing ourselves what we can do outside of our homes together to better all our lives. And the more we continue to let this government tell us what's right, what's wrong, the more we're going to continue to be on the back burner and not on the front. On the back burner and not on the front. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That trap gotta stop. It not only does it have to stop, we got to wake the hell up. We got to really wake the hell up. Because in 2023, when they made that ruling out there in Colorado, that woman with the website, and the same-sex couple had went in there, they wanted a website made for their wedding. And the woman denied them. And it became a huge case. Thanks to people like Lauren Berger and all them down there in Colorado, it became really huge. And the Supreme Court actually heard it. And they sided with the website lady because she said that it was against her religion that she serviced these people. So, if a McDonald's owner all of a sudden says it's against his religion to service you because you are Black, does that not damage your civil rights? And don't they have their civil rights? See, we allow things to move forward again because it don't bother me. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't hurting me. But at the end of the day, it is. Because if it's not hurting you, what about the gay cousin you got? What about the niece that like little girls instead of little boys? What about the aunt or the uncle? And sometimes, what about the parent that lives an alternate life from what you consider to be norm? And the weirdest thing to me is, hell, are we all normal people? Are we? Hell, I see you with two eyes. I hear you with two ears. I think just like you. I chew my food just like you. I breathe in, I breathe out. I go to sleep for 8 hours. No, I don't. I go to sleep for 5 hours. But still, I do everything just like you do. So what makes me less human and less worthy than you? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. But because the government tells you that someone is less worthy than you, then that be the case. Well, I'm here to tell y'all, a time of reckoning is coming. It is. Because all the moves that they are making at this current moment, right now at this moment, are set up to hurt our future. See, because I'm in the safe zone. I'm 50 years old. Ain't too much more they can do to me. They can't do too much for me. But my grandkids, my kids, your grandkids, your nieces and your nephews, who knows what they're going to grow up to be? Who knows how they're going to grow up to love? Who knows what their desires will be in 25 years? But the one thing we'll stand The laws that Supreme Court is creating right now, just like these laws that they created in the past that are still haunting us right now today. Housing discrimination, civil rights discrimination. We still getting it. It ain't gone. It's still happening. In some states more than others. But the reality of it is that we, as a people, we can do something about this. We can fight this fight. But because we have a Supreme Court right now that literally cares more about one genre of people than the other. And when I say one genre, I don't always mean this in a black and white scenario. Even though when it literally kind of boils down to it, it is black, brown, and the LGBTQIA plus community versus the other. Yeah, for the most part, when it boils down to that, yeah, that's what it equals to. But you poor white folks, y'all down here with us too. Don't think it to be not factual. So all these laws they're making right now, they'll kill y'all ass in the next 25 years too, just like they're killing us. And I don't mean death by stake or by shot or by fire. I mean in the economy. It's coming to hurt you just like they plan to hurt us. Just like the DEI hire thing and pulling affirmative action out. That's done more hurt to other groups than it has to the group in which they thought it was going to hurt. That's the thing. The more you and I get on the same page against them, the more we have a more likely chance to get to that next level in life, and our offsprings have a more likely chance to enjoy life. They have a better chance at enjoying it. But if we constantly fight, all because I'm MAGA, all because I'm Black Lives Matter, all because I'm an Antifa, all because I'm on the right, all because I'm on the left, all these different groups. When the government really aiming, that group, bam. You have too much going on out here, y'all, for us to continue to be separated the way we are. They have laid laws on us that have hurt us forever and a day. Forever and a day. And until we wake up, they're going to continue to slam us down. They're going to continue to make us look like the pieces of shit they want us to look like. And that's not what we should be. 2025 was a ruling that kind of hit me because it really kind of hurt. I actually knew somebody was going through this down in Texas, and I was just like, wow. All I could do was pray for them. But the United States versus Committee, when they said that gender-affirming care for minors was now considered illegal, I'm going to tell y'all something. Ain't no parent out here trying to say, I wanted a boy, and now I'm going to change it to a boy. Or I wanted a little girl, now I'm going to change it to a little girl. That's not happening. These parents are literally looking for solutions to help their children. My person that I knew just so happened to have a child who was born with multiple sex organs and was seeking to get this fixed. And because of the situation that we were facing and the laws that have been passed, the doctors would not help. We need to stay out of these people's lives like that. Since when is it for the government to tell us what's best for our child? Since when is it best for the government to tell us what's best for anything to do with our bodies? Women, you live in it. You live in it. They've been telling y'all abortions have been against the law since the dawn of time on abortions, and they don't even like them. But y'all understand? If anybody should understand, you all should understand more than anyone. That nobody should be in an office but the doctor, the person, and if they have a spouse, maybe, maybe them. But to continue to just go inside and invade people's privacies and then create laws in order to say that I said you can't do this, so you ain't doing it. Those are the things that are going to keep us down. And those are the things that are going to keep us on the back burner. It is time for us to wake up and move forward and not let these folks continue to tell us what's right, but for us to start telling them what's best for us. And the only way we could do that is if we definitely fight together, we vote, and we tell our local government what we will and will not stand for any longer. Because it's time out, baby. It's time out. The Supreme Court is stacked in one direction. And that direction does not have every single human being being looked at as an equal. It doesn't. And knowing that, we should know that we as a people, not as a black man, not as a brown man, not as a black woman, not as a brown woman, not as an LGBTQIA plus person, no. But as a people, it is time that we get together and begin to fight this fight together. And when we start fighting this fight together, y'all, oh my God, what a fight they'll have on their hands. So, listen, y'all. That's the meat and potatoes of today's dinner table conversation in the house in Vanderbilt. My Jesus, my God, listen to this, y'all. Hey, no matter what God you serve, no matter how you serve him, doesn't make me a difference. You know, love on who you want to love on, care on your God the way you want to care on. You know, I just so happen to love my God, and he pushes me forward to do what I'm trying to do right now. One of the things, you know, we're going to leave in this dessert portion of this dinner table talk is, you know, what is the House of Vanderbilt really aiming to do? Well, it's simple. I want to help. I think these conversations are going to lead to the stands and the platform and really where I'm trying to go, which is I want to help the youth. I want to help 16 to 18-year-old young black men, brown women, black women, brown, LGBTQIA. I want to help all of them in a way because people get kicked out of their homes, you know, for all different types of reasons. And I'm a strong believer that sometimes it's for the wrong reason. And I believe that if there are homes that are made that can save these young people and keep them on the right track, we can still find our president in the future in one of those homes. We can find doctors in the future in one of those homes. We can have actors and great entertainers in one of those homes. So the house at Vanderbilt is really looking forward to the future that we're going to build these homes. It's going to be homes in Atlanta and homes in Chicago because those are the two states in which I'm most connected to now. And then hopefully they'll branch out in a larger sense. But first, we're going to look to build one. Look to start one home, one house at Vanderbilt that will help young people continue their lives of success headed in the right direction. So if you're into any of that, please help us by going to House of Vanderbilt, VANDER, House of Vanderbilt.org. And check us out. Donate if you like. Contact me. Write me an email. Tell me some things. I'm looking for guests now. I would love to talk with some more people that are on the wavelength of where I'm going. And we got to understand that my basis and my foundation is what this government is doing to us all, but has us separated. And it's time out for that. We can't continue to allow that to continue to press forward. We're not having it anymore. No more. You won't tell me that I'm not worth nothing. No more. And I'm not going to let you tell other folks that they're not worth nothing either. We're all worth something. So knowing that, let's move forward in the right way. Let's start loving a little bit more. Start communicating a little bit more. Try to get an understanding before you make a judgment. Some people are bad people. As I told you in the first episode about my growing up, there are bad people in this world, but not everybody. Here we go, y'all. Last part of that dessert. Who's on the WTF are we doing, Wall? And why are they up there? Who's on the WTF are we doing, Wall? And why are they up there? Well, no one has said anything today, so I'm going to go ahead on and pull this brother on down and tell you. This man, not only did he fight, he made rulings based on law. Thurgood Marshall was an awesome associate on the Supreme Court during his time. He made rulings that not only helped a majority, but he even thought about the future and helped what he knew would be marginalized people. There's a man sitting in his seat right now that has nothing like Thurgood's passion, Thurgood's concern, Judge Marshall's love for humanity. You didn't catch Thurgood Marshall taking bribes and $100 million trips across the world and flying private jets and all that stuff. This man truly fought for his people and people that he knew the government was overlooking. So today I ask, WTF are we doing with the man that's sitting in his seat right now? Why is he there? Associate Justice Clarence Thomas should not be sitting in this man's seat because he does not represent what this man represented. He represented a for all type movement. And we far away from that, y'all. So WTF are we doing? When will the Supreme Court become something that sees like Associate Judge Thurgood Marshall see that we need to be loving all? Man, I want to say thank y'all again. A lot of y'all always tune into these things after. And I really appreciate that. Excuse me. I really appreciate you guys always tuning in after the fact. A lot of people watch the video later on. I appreciate all of y'all. Please, again, follow me on Instagram, The House at Vanderbilt, spelling built just like you built something. The House at Vanderbilt on Instagram. Follow the YouTube page, The House at Vanderbilt. And please, now, log on, www.houseofvanderbilt.com or .org. I need all of the assistance I can get. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep going. The reason I'm going to keep going is because people like good old Associate Judge Thurgood Marshall, he kept going. He fought until his dying day for people that couldn't fight for themselves. And that's exactly how I see myself right now. I'm fighting for people that can't fight for themselves. And I'm sorry to say, that's a whole lot of us. And once we learn that we can fight better together, we'll win more. So, may y'all Sunday be blessed. Go enjoy your Sunday fun day. Have a great time. And let's not forget, the House at Vanderbilt's first Christmas mixer is December the 20th live at the Battery at the baseball field here in Atlanta, Georgia. I hope to see y'all there. It starts at 7. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. The House at Vanderbilt's Christmas Mixer on Eventbrite. And look, I look forward to partying with y'all and having a good time and showing the world that we ain't got to be the same to have a good time. Because at the end of the day, it's just about respect, love, and a little consideration. Peace.